Hello, boxing world. You are welcome to Stylec-Sport and Culture. We are going to jump in the forthcoming match between Gervanta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach Jr., which is set for the 16th of August 2025 in Las Vegas. This bout followed their controversial first meeting on March 1st, which ended in majority draw. The first fight, David retained his WBA lightweight title, though the match stirred a controversy due to the referee decision not to count the kneel taken by Gervanta Tank David as a knockdown. The move that would have been the first of his career lost. David attributed the incident to hair grease getting in his eye, a claim met with skepticism. The scorecard also came under scrutiny. One judge scored for Gervanta Tank David a fight 115 to 113, Gervanta Tank David, while the other judge scored the scorecard 114 to 114. Many observers, including the boxing legend Terence Bud Crawford, I call him a legend, but he's still a star because he's still fighting, believe that Lamont Roach have to win the match. So, before we jump into breaking down the fight, I want to give you 7 factors why I think the fight was very close in the first fight, and I want you to follow me in the breakdown of these 7 factors. Number 1, which we are going to break down, is psychological advantage. Number 2, technical preparation. Number 3, emotional dynamics. And number 4, mental familiarity. Less fear, more strategies. Number 5, pattern recognition. Number 6, defensive comfort versus aggressive adjustment. And number 7, adaptation versus memory. So, and this fight is due to the familiarity of this fight. I do have a 3 subtitle for this fight. And number 1, I thought it was, when I break down the fight and look at all the angles, I thought this was a fight that you can call from friends to foe, because they grew up sparring. Now they are fighting for their legacy. And number 2 is more, I no more doubt. Due to the first fight, everybody was thinking the Tank really won. Was it a win for, was it a robbery for Lamont Roach? And now I think that they don't have to leave any doubt. So no more doubt. After the controversial draw, both warriors return to prove who is the real champion. And the final subtitle that I think suits this fight is respect ends here. So what begins with honor ends in war. There can be no mercy in the rematch. So it's gonna be a great fight. Let's jump in and let's keep breaking it down. So let's go. Gervanta Tank David, with the boxing record 30-0, 1 draw, 28 knockouts, is known for his explosive power and finishing ability. However, in this first match between him, Gervanta Tank Davis, and Lamont Roach Jr., he struggled to land his significant or signature punch against Roach. David has acknowledged the need for adjustment and is expected to enter the rematch with a renewed focus and strategy. Boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. predicts that David will be more dominant in this time, citing a different attitude and motivation. Lamont Roach, who has a boxing record 25 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 10 KO, surprised many with his resilience and technical powers in that first fight between him and Gervanta Tank David. He outthrew and slightly outlanded David, particularly excelling in the later round. Lamont Roach's ability to withstand David's power and maintain composure under pressure was notable. Clarissa Shade believed that Roach will be even better in the rematch, emphasizing his potential to secure a definite victory against Gervanta Tank David. After these first matches, a lot of people believe Lamont Roach won. A lot of people believe Gervanta Tank David won. At least that is what scorecard said, that Gervanta Tank David won. And when we look at the pivotal moment that occurred in 9th round, when Gervanta Tank David took knees after a jab from Lamont Roach Jr., the referee did not rule that as a knockdown. If that decision would have been a knockdown, that would have been significantly in the favor of Lamont Roach Jr. Statistically, Lamont Roach outthrew and slightly outlanded Davis with 112 total punches to Davis' 103 punches. In the final round, Roach landed 16 punches compared to Davis' 9 punches. Despite this number, the judges' score reflected a closely contested match. The fight outcome led to a widespread call for a rematch, which is now scheduled for August 16th, 2025 in Las Vegas. Both fighters have expressed their determination to secure a definite victory in the upcoming bout. Now, so many people have DM'd me, asked me, like, do you think that the reason why Gervonta Tank David and Lamont Roach Jr. match was close, was it due to how familiar both are? Of course, I think so. And that is the next thing we are going to dive into right now. When you watch in the first fight, Lamont Roach, he was more active. He threw more punches, arguably outboxed Tank David at times. He shows excellent composure, timing, and a solid jab that frustrated Gervanta Tank David in that first match. But the moment David took that knee and it wasn't ruled a knockdown, that was a massive swing in the perception. That knee David took made people to believe that Lamont Roach might have David's number. So, in responding to the question that I was asked when a friend of mine asked me, do I think that the performance that gave Roach the advantage why people thought he won the bout was due to their familiarity? I think absolutely yes. That kind of familiarity definitely played a role in Lamont Roach Jr. performance in the first fight, and is a key reason why he was able to neutralize a lot of what makes Gervanta David so dangerous, so special in a fight against any opponent. Well, here are some of the reasons why I think Gervanta David and Lamont Roach Jr. fight was very competitive. And I think it's still going to be competitive. And it's hard to call who is going to win. So let's walk through these significant factors. And at the end, we will give our prediction what we think will happen in the rematch. 1. Psychological advantage. Lamont Roach wasn't intimidated. He didn't fight like a guy facing a knockout artist with a 90% KO rate. Growing up around David, sparring with him, and being part of the same DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia boxing circle gave Roach a confidence and insight into Tank's rhythm, tendency, timing. Most of Davis' opponents looked hesitant. Roach was composed from the start. Number 2. Tactical preparation. Sparring multiple times in the past likely helped Roach to understand Davis' preferred counterpunch angle. Sparring multiple times in the past helped Roach in anticipating when Tank would explode with his power shot. Sparring with Gervonta Tank David multiple times helped Lamont Roach to adjust to Tank feints and setup. Sometimes most opponents get caught by it. Number 3, emotional dynamic. Being close family friends likely brought a unique emotional layer. Neither man wanted to be embarrassed, and both fought with a weird mix of respect and competitiveness. Some fans and insiders noticed David didn't press the gas pedal as much as he usually does. Could that be a subconscious restraint? Possibly. We don't know. If you noticed during the press conference, it was a little bit hard for Gervonta Tank David to even cuss out Lamont Roach as much as he does to his other opponent. I remember, I think during the weigh-in, he was being, or I think that was during the press conference, he was asking Lamont Roach why did he bring his mom, so he couldn't cuss in front of Lamont Roach's mom due to how close they are. So I think that plays a lot of role, more strategy. What that means, Roach has already disadvantage to Gervonta. Lamont Roach won't fold. Roach may start the fight faster in the first round and take more calculative risk because he trusts his timing. And David might look to set trap early, knowing Roach won't panic or overextend easily. Number 5, pattern recognition. What does that mean? Both fighters have seen each other tendency over the years, not just 12 rounds in the first fight that we saw, which is huge. Roach knows when Tank loads up or tries to bite counter. When you can break your opponent down before the fight, it's very dangerous. David also knows Roach rhythms, when he jab, pivot, reset, or defend. How does this affect the rematch? Roach may change up his rhythm, use more feint, and adjust timing to avoid being predictable. David might work more inside angle and time overhand a counter of Roach jab, something he struggled with in the first fight. Number 6, defensive comfort and defensive comfort versus aggressive adjustment. What does that mean? Sparring makes you comfortable with someone's offense. You are not as easily overwhelmed. Roach's defense ability to roll short probably developed with Davis in the gym. Tank likely knows which guard angle frustrates Roach. And how does this affect the rematch? Roach will try to make it a chase match again. High guard counter when David commits. David might punch through the guard or to the body. Number 7, this is where it gets interesting. Sparring memory can help or hurt. If Roach relied too much on the past experience, he could get caught by a new version of Gervonta Tank David. Sharper, more aggressive, not holding back this time. If David underestimates Roach's improvement, thinking he knew him, he may get outburst again. The bottom line is, sparring build a foundation. Now both fighters have to evolve beyond it. Roach game plan: stay sharp, change rhythm, avoid a predictable sequence from their past gym war. David's game plan: be more versatile, unpredictable, and make Roach pay for every defensive lapses that he got. Looking ahead to the rematch. For the rematch, the familiarities could still help Roach, but David now has a 12th round of fresh data on Roach. And that is dangerous if he makes the right adjustment. The friendly dynamic might fade in the rematch. Emotions tend to get sharper after a draw, especially with the public and media pressure. Well, the bottom line is yes, Roach's standout performance was partly due to his deep familiarities with Davis, but it was also because he's simply a smart, technical sound fighter who shows he belongs elite level. My take in the first fight is Roach was more active. He threw more punches and arguably outboxed Gervonta Tank David at times. He shows excellent composure. His timing was excellent and a solid jab that frustrated Gervonta Tank David in that match was a huge take in the first fight. When it comes to Gervonta Davis in the first fight, Gervonta Tank David taking a knee and not rule as a knockdown was a massive swing in that perception. And had that knee been scored as a knockdown, Lamont Roach would have been the champion or the new lightweight champion, WBA champion. My second take in the second fight was their scale and style of matchup. Gervonta Tank David, who has 35, 28 KO, has exceptional timing. His counterpunch excellent, that strives on his opponent's mistake. If Lamont Roach is careless at any time, Gervonta David might catch him, but that wasn't the case in the first match. Lamont Roach was very, very precise in frustrating Gervonta David in that first match. Now, concern is Gervonta David started slow in that first match, and when his power did not work, his volume of boxing dropped. I thought he was confused. I don't know why, but being the champion that he is, he find a way to make the fight look at least a draw. Even one judge gave him the match and made him to keep his belt. So Lamont Roach in that first fight was very sharp. He has an excellent good ring IQ. His defense was very composed and excellent fundamentals. He has shown he can handle an elite fighter, elite pressure. Well, my concern is less power than he has, less power punch. Gervonta David can punch harder than him, and if he keep Gervonta David honest with his punch, Gervonta David might take a risk and take him out. And my also taking the first fight was the experience factor. David has fought and beaten higher level opponents: Leo Santa Cruz, Ryan Garcia, Mario Barros, Pitbull, a lot of them. Roach has championship experience but hasn't faced as many dangerous punchers or many elite fighters as Gervonta David has been in the ring with. I think in the rematch, experience is still going to play a huge role. And in my opinion, I think Gervonta David wins with a close decision or a late round TKO in the rematch. I think he would take Roach more seriously after the first fight. I think his team will make technical adjustment to cut off Roach's angle and start faster. Unless Roach step up his power or pushes the pace harder, David will find opening late. However, if David starts slow again and Roach can stay disciplined for 12 rounds, then there will be a real clear upset for a real clear victory for Lamont Roach Jr. But I still think Gervonta Tank David wins the fight by late TKO or majority decision.